I got lucky enough to get selected to be in the Halo Infinite technical preview, and being the huge Halo nerd I am, I just had to make a video going over all the good and the bad in this game so far, as well as talk about some of the new features that are in the game. Now, the technical preview is a super stripped down version of the game. They said it's an old build. I think they said the build is like 3 to 4 weeks old, so this isn't even the current state of the game right now, and the only thing that's in the game is a game mode where you're fighting against bots, and then another like firing range game mode where you can just test out all the weapons and stuff. It's kind of like an aim trainer game mode. But I'm going to start with what I think is bad in Halo Infinite from my first impressions here. Number one is the optimization. It's horrible on PC. I play on PC. I have a 3080 Ti and a Ryzen 7 5800X and 32 gigs of RAM, and I'm only getting 80 to 100 frames on the lowest possible settings. The optimization is my biggest complaint with the game so far, because playing on 80 to 100 frames when you're used to almost 200 is not a very fun experience. I know it might sound a little snobby because I know a lot of people are used to playing on that kind of frame rate, but when you're used to really high frame rates and going to a lower frame rate like that, it doesn't make the experience as fun, I guess. It makes everything feel super laggy. Another thing is there's no full screen mode. There's only a full screen borderless option, and I think maybe that could have something to do with the optimization, because in full screen borderless you are going to get that added input delay, so that could be also why the game just feels kind of clunky and it just doesn't feel as responsive to me on top of the lower frame rate. I just find it odd that there's no full screen mode in this build. I'm sure it'll be in later builds, but this is just the technical preview, so we're getting what they gave us. But that leads me into input lag. The input lag feels just horrible. Everything feels sluggish. Everything just doesn't feel responsive. Now that could be because I'm getting a lower frame rate. I'm not able to play in full screen mode, but everything just feels kind of sluggish and just not really smooth. But I'm going to assume that's because the optimization isn't all that great. I'm not getting good frame rates. There's no full screen mode and things like that. Another thing I've noticed is my keybinds keep getting reset every time I close the game, so that's definitely an issue on my end. It's not all of my keybinds are getting reset, but only a few of them are getting reset. I notice if you try to rebind the push to talk button or the push to talk keybind, that my game will crash every time I try to change that keybind. So that's very odd, but I'm sure that's a bug that's pretty fixable. Another complaint I have, I know there's a lot of complaints, we will get into the good, but another complaint is the voice chat for whatever reason has open mic by default. So if you're just hopping into the technical preview here, just keep in mind that your mic is open and everyone in the game can hear you unless you change that setting, because for whatever reason it's on open mic by default. So make sure you put that on push to talk, because that could get a little awkward. Another small little nitpicky thing is how small the medals are. Like when you get a double kill, like how small it is when it pops up on screen and the location on the screen, because it's almost kind of just like off-centered, and I really prefer it like how it was in Halo 2, Halo 3, how the medals were nice and big and they popped up in the bottom left. I just like that a little better. I don't know. I love seeing the medals pop up. I love when I get a double, triple kill, overkill, just seeing that big medal pop up, and when it's just super small and it's just not as exciting. I don't know. It's a little nitpicky thing, but another thing I've noticed is there's no red versus blue. There's no team colors, so you just customize your Spartan, and however your Spartan looks in your customization, he's going to look in the game. So if you want to make him purple and have whatever armor you want, that's how he's going to look in the game. And instead there's just going to be red and blue outlines around players in the game, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of. I think I'd rather just have red versus blue. Maybe that's just me being a old school Halo player, but I think I'd prefer red versus blue. But I could see why that's cool to a lot of people. Being able to customize everything and that's how your player looks in the actual game is cool, although it is first person, so you're not really seeing your character except for at the end of the game screen or in the lobbies. So I don't really see the point. I would rather just see red versus blue, although the outlines around the players are super bright, so it's pretty easy to tell who's on your team or not. But there is some instances where I started shooting at a teammate thinking it was on the other team, but that's probably just me being old and my eyes being slow. So a big one I want to talk about, and I know a lot of people that play on PC who are mouse and keyboard players are probably worried about is aim assist. Aim assist is something that's very, very broken and overpowered in the Master Chief Collection. I know on PC at least. I literally plug in the controller every time I play the Master Chief Collection because I just feel at a huge disadvantage because aim assist is so strong. And I would rather play mouse and keyboard, but like I said, on Master Chief Collection, it is just so strong. I feel like I'm at a massive disadvantage, so I basically have to play controller. But on Halo Infinite, I have tried mouse and keyboard, and I've tried controller. And controller, at least on PC, the aim assist is not nearly as strong as it was in Master Chief Collection. Not nearly as strong. It's still pretty good. The aim assist is definitely strong, and you can feel it. It's really good, but it's not nearly as crazy overpowered as it was in the Master Chief Collection. It feels a lot more toned back, and it just feels a lot better overall. And I feel like it's going to take a lot more skill now to use a controller because you're not just locking onto everything. The aim assist is still definitely a little strong, but I don't think I can really complain about it anymore because it's just not super blatantly broken and OP, which leads me into mouse and keyboard. There is actually a setting for mouse and keyboard to have aim assist, and I checked it on, and I don't think it works. I did not notice myself getting any aim assist whatsoever with this setting. I went into the bot modes and I was going back and forth over the target. I went back and forth over the target while firing because it says you get a little like sticky aim while firing. I didn't notice it whatsoever. It did not slow down for me. Maybe that's a bug, or maybe I'm just somehow not noticing it, but I did not feel that sticky aim whatsoever with mouse and keyboard. Obviously, if they're adding an aim assist to mouse and keyboard, which is already insane, you don't want it to be too strong because that's just going to be blatantly overpowered. But I didn't feel any sticky aim whatsoever, so I don't know if that's a bug or not, or maybe I'm just not noticing it, but I've tested it and I don't feel a thing. So let me know if you guys have tried that out at all down in the comments. I'm curious to see if you guys felt it or not, because like I said, I have not felt the thing. But aim assist on mouse and keyboard, that's just insane, honestly, to even say that. And I'm actually super surprised that's a setting in the game, but I do think it's bugged. And if it's not bugged, then it's probably working as intended because it's not strong or overpowered whatsoever. I literally didn't even feel it at all. But we're starting to move into some of the things I like. There is custom keybinds for controllers. So you can put, you know, if you want sprint on your left trigger, you can put it there. If you want your jump on RB, you can put it there. The custom controller keybinds, that is a really awesome thing. And I do not play console, but there is also a FOV slider on console. So you console players out there, I'm sure will be super happy to hear about that. The customization in this game, it's all right. I mean, it's just the basic. You customize your Spartan, you can customize the helmet, your arms, stuff like that. There's prosthetics. I mean, it's something that's not super exciting to me. I don't really care for customization all that much. I just want to play the game. The weapon skins are cool though. I feel like there's going to be some really cool weapon skins in this game. Hopefully we get some animated ones. So I am a big fan of the customizing the weapon skins, but I mean, it's not really a deal breaker for me. I don't care a whole lot about customization. I just want to hop into the game and play. The battle pass system is cool. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but say you start playing Halo in Halo Infinite in season 10 and you want to get the season 1 battle pass and level it, you can do that. That is pretty cool. And as I'm sure most of you guys are aware, the only game modes in the game right now are the bot game mode. It's just like 4v4. There's 4 real people on your team versus 4 bots. And then the firing range mode. But I do feel like this bot mode is going to be really, really good for helping people warm up. The only thing right now is it's just an AR start and a pistol secondary, which I don't think would be a very good warm up. So hopefully you can customize the bot game mode. So you could like get BR starts. Maybe if you want to start with snipers, you could start with that. So you can just kind of warm up whatever you're trying to warm up. I would really, really prefer to be able to start with BRs in this game mode, but that's just me. Some people like their ARs and pistols, I guess, even though I don't think they're all that great. But yeah, we got the firing range, or like the training mode or whatever as well, which is also going to be really good for warming up, I think, and good for aim training and finding your sensitivity. So I'm really happy we got something like that in the game. The movement system though, now, I guess we're kind of going back over to something I don't like. I'm about to complain a little bit, but the movement system, I'm not a big fan of. I'm gonna be honest, it just doesn't feel like Halo, man. We got sprinting, we got sliding, we got mantling. I just, you know, maybe I'm just an old school Halo player. Maybe I'm just a boomer when it comes to Halo, but I'm not a fan, man. I sprinting, sliding, mantling, I don't think that stuff belongs in Halo, to be honest with you. I don't like it. It doesn't feel like Halo, and it's just a huge turnoff for me, to be honest. I know the whole debate on sprinting and everything like that, it's a huge debate between players, but me personally, I am not a fan at all of sprinting or sliding or mantling. I just want that old school experience. It just doesn't feel like Halo to me, man, just to be completely honest. Let's talk about some of the guns though. The BR feels really good. It feels super consistent. There's another new gun called the Commando. It's like a semi-auto, but if you hold the trigger, it like shoots full auto, but not like fully full auto, like super fast. Kind of hard to explain there. But the Commando is probably the strongest gun in the game. It is insanely good. It's just not quite as consistent as the BR. It's going to be killing insanely fast, so if you're hitting your shots, but it's very hard to control once you start spamming it. So you gotta like kind of spam it for the first few shots and then kind of tap fire it a little bit, but very hard to control. If you're hitting your shots, the Commando, I think, is probably the strongest gun in the game, but I'm still going to be choosing the BR over the Commando if I have the choice, because I'm just used to the BR and it feels very consistent to me. But the Commando, man, that thing is crazy. And then the Shotty, I've only picked up the Shotty once. It feels just like it does in old Halo games. It just looks a lot different. When I talk about old Halo games, guys, I'm mostly talking about Halo 3. I probably put like 40-50 days of my life into that game. So the sniping feels incredible. I've only gotten to pick up the sniper a few times because everyone's always bum rushing it, so I haven't really gotten to pick it up all that many times. But sniper feels incredible. I love sniping in Halo. The gun sounds are incredible. They're like super loud and just like in your face without like being overbearingly loud, kind of like in Warzone, which is the game I'm used to right now. But they just sound like full of life. I don't know, the sounds in this game are just incredible. I love it. But the one thing about the weapons I find weird is that the weapon spawns aren't consistent. Sometimes where there's a BR spawn, in the next game a Commando will spawn there instead, and then the next game a BR, and then in the middle sometimes a sniper spawns, and sometimes I forget the name of the other gun, but it's kind of like a sniper will spawn there. So I don't know if it's gonna change based on game modes what gun is spawning there, or if it's just gonna be random every time. But I don't like it. It's not very consistent. I prefer the old way where like, hey, a BR is gonna spawn here every time, I know where to go, or like say over on a different spot of the map, a Commando's gonna spawn every time here, so that's where I'm gonna go. I don't like that kind of random aspect to it. I'm not a big fan of that. If that's only in social game modes, fine, whatever, but I really don't think that should be a thing in ranked game modes or competitive game modes. One thing I do find really cool though is the notifications you get for like when all the power weapons are gonna spawn, when all the power-ups are gonna spawn, like active camo or camo. So I do find that cool that you get a little notification when it's about to spawn, so you don't gotta remember like the timers. Like I don't gotta like pick up the sniper and be like, okay, I gotta wait 2.5 minutes to pick it up and pay attention to the timer on the game. Instead, you just get a notification, hey, it's gonna be here soon, so you can get ready for it. And being able to choose when you use your power-ups is pretty cool as well. I do like that, although I noticed the overshield and active camo does wear off pretty fast compared to what I'm used to in Halo 3. But I am super excited to stop playing against bots and actually get some PvP. They said we're gonna get some PvP potentially on Sunday, so hopefully that actually does happen. And if it does happen and you guys want to see some more Halo videos, let me know down in the comments. I'm honestly kind of nervous to upload this because my channel's all about Warzone, and we'll see how this video goes. But if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. But yeah, it's hard to say how good this game's really gonna be, man. It really is hard to say because we're just playing a technical preview right now. We're getting an insanely small portion of the game, but hard to say how good the game's actually going to be. We need to put a lot more time into it. Need to get a lot more of the game in our hands before we can really make or form an opinion on how good the game's going to be. But like I said, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate y'all watching, man. I'm probably going to be streaming a lot of this over on Twitch. If you're interested in that, link is in the description. It's just Webzy over there on Twitch. And make sure you subscribe if you're new here. I'd really appreciate that, and drop a like if you enjoyed this video. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you all enjoyed. Here's the web. Peace.